आप सीखेंगे।
Very good morning. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has described the upcoming India-EU trade agreement as the mother of all trade deals, saying that none of the 27 European Union member states are opposed to it. The agreement, expected to be signed on January 26th, will be comprehensive in nature and will address the interests and sensitivities of both the sides. Goyal said that in various high-level meetings, no EU country has opposed the trade agreement with India, adding that it would be the most comprehensive and mutually advantageous deal for both the parties. The India-EU trade agreement has been under discussion for decades, with negotiations relaunched in July 2022, after being abandoned in 2013. Talks have gained urgency following changes in US trade policies, prompting partners to look for new markets. India has seen market access in labor-intensive sectors such as textile, footwear, gems and jewelry, while the EU is expected to gain access for automobiles and beverages. Joining us on the broadcast to understand this further is Dr. Sharat Kohli, Senior Economist. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, for joining us on the broadcast. A very good morning to you. So when we're looking at this historic India-EU trade deal, obviously our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has also stated and called it as the mother of all trade deals, sir. How are you looking at it?
Good morning, Shivani, to you and NewsX viewers. Indeed, this is going to be a landmark deal. And why this is being called mother of all deals is because of the sheer size. Well, not many people know that EU is our largest trading partners of merchandise, maybe not in numbers, but even if you add the numbers, if you add merchandise, if I take 24, 25 numbers, the total including services adds up to 186 to 188 billion dollars. So which is a very, 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 very sizable amount. So if you take region-wise, this is the largest, of course. Country-wise, there was always China and the US, but EU is a region. It comprises of 27 nations. I think the deal, which has been pending for decades, as you said, has got speeded up and has is going to soon see the light of the day thanks to President Trump and American policies, because they have sort of motivated the countries to huddle up, to come together, do the deal. And we should not forget there was a very important announcement out of many which happened from America last evening, that President Trump now wants to levy tariffs on countries which do not back Greenland. So there are several nations, 11 that I know in European Union, who are opposing Greenland takeover of the United States. So, United States had a very good friend in the European Union. They always used to obey whatever he used to say, but I think he's making enemies out of European Union. And, the enmity is growing to an extent that in Greenland, a lot of European nations have now deployed troops. It's a completely ice-covered area, as we all know. And now there are troops from many European countries. They are ready to, defend in case there is an invasion by US of any kind. So I think EU now is gradually losing US patronage and vice versa, which is, I think, and in India, we all know, is a great market. It'll be a win-win situation for Europe for sending its beverages and other stuff. We have the largest middle class in the world, Shivani, almost 65 to 70 crores. 45 crores is the direct middle class. Add to that another 25 crores of neo-middle class, which has been added after people came out from multi-dimensional poverty index. And for India, I think it's going to be a very good deal, because India is going to find Indian exporters who have been reeling under US tariffs are now going to find markets easier. Indian goods will become more affordable and in demand in the EU. So I think this is going to be completely countering the US onslaught of tariffs. And I think it'll be a reason to celebrate. At least I'm going to celebrate, Shivani, when this gets signed by the end of the month, which is the time I'm hoping around 27th of January, Shivani.
Right. And Dr. Kohli, if we can understand what are the areas that India will be targeting in the EU and what will, European Union be looking at? So they might be looking at the automobile sector, the beverages sector, like you mentioned, and India might be looking at more labor intensive sectors such as footwear, textiles, gems, etc. Sir.
Oh yes, for India the list is very long. We've got textiles, pharmaceuticals, gems and jewelry. We've got seafood. There is a lot marine products, as we call it, as a blue economy. So India has got a very long list. Engineering goods, mobile phones. India has a very long list, and EU is not particularly known as a manufacturing hub, as you rightly said. Beverages and automobiles are the main things that you're doing, and probably a little bit of fruits here and there. But then, for India, so I think this is going to be mutually beneficial. It's going to be very good for European Union and very good for India as well. And we are also going to see, Shivani, a free movement of Indian professionals to EU. You will see changes in the residential permits, in the work permits, student visas and so, because FTA is not necessarily only restricted to export of goods and services. It also encompasses a lot of other things like immigration both ways. So I think it's going to be a win-win situation. I think this will be a big slap on the face of the U.S. policy, shall I say, if this happens. I'm sure President Trump is not going to enjoy this deal in any way because he's been announcing newer tariffs on India in some way or the other. This deal will be a big lesson to the U.S. that if U.S. thinks that it is bossing around the world, well, if the world gets together, then U.S. can be, U.S. impact can be minimalized, and U.S.'s, I would say, dominance across the world can be challenged by such deals, Shivani.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli.